7:45 I head off the path. I pull over just literally 25 yards up the road, just outside the house. I didn't want to say goodbye to anyone. If any of the guys are watching this, I'm sorry. I don't think any of them do watch my videos, but not this group. Others do, but not those. But I just needed to be alone. And I pulled over and I videoed. And I'm going to share some of that footage and why it was quite possibly one of the most beautiful rides I have enjoyed in my life. Because it wasn't just the scenery or the coolness of the early morning. That deep rest that I was desperate for, I found on the motorbike as I rode through those country roads that particular morning. So we're going to move on to part 3 now, which is my journey home. Early Christian monks left behind a vast body of esoteric literature that is profound in the range and quality of the mystical teaching it offers. Though by and large it is little known to our contemporary world. Because of their lifestyle of radical simplicity and withdrawal, the monks were able to devote much time to scrutinizing the stages and forms of the inner life of the human spirit. One of the quotes that I particularly enjoy and often reflect on is from Abba Anthony, where he said, "Whoever sits in solitude and is quiet has escaped from 3 wars, those of hearing, speaking, and seeing. Then there is only one war left in which to fight, and that is the battle for your own heart." I know that's all quite deep for a motorbike channel that's really just about riding a bike to and from Wales. So it suddenly got a bit heavy. But I hope you understand that I'm tackling a very complex subject here. I'm not even trying to tackle the subject from an academic perspective. It's a lived experience that I hadn't really expected this weekend. My intention, and I've been looking forward to this trip for months, is to actually go on a long journey on the bike. I've done short journeys before, anything up to 80 miles, 100 miles, but nothing really much further. So I was really looking forward to getting out of England and just somewhere different. And so this has been on the horizon for quite a while now. And a combination of factors yesterday from this video, the day before this video was made, because this is my journey home, meant that I really have struggled, as mentioned in parts 1 and part 2. If you haven't seen those, I recommend you do go back and watch those, otherwise this video will appear a little out of context. So I've had my dark night of the soul, maybe even still living it to some extent as I ride, but there was something just magical about this particular ride. and there is no way on earth I can capture it in video or words in this particular discussion. So forgive me for not being able to completely share it with you, but I'm going to try and shape some of what happened and what I experienced. Now, the point of this is I know so many other people struggle, and sometimes what I don't want to be told is, oh, if you're struggling, just go and get help or just talk to someone. I mean, those are helpful and they're good, but just sometimes hearing somebody else's experience can be relatable, and that's all I'm trying to do here. So for whatever reason, I really struggled with what happened last night, but having decided to go home and really not sure if I was making a foolish decision, as I'm riding right now, the liberation of freedom of spirit is just beyond words. As mentioned before, and as those will remember or know, we're currently going through around 30 plus degrees centigrade in the UK, and which is about 95 Fahrenheit for those who work on the old system. And yesterday's ride was so hot, but here I am. I have no responsibilities, no responsibilities for anyone else. I don't have to follow anyone else. I'm just literally on the road. The morning air, of which this is just after 7:30, 7:45ish, is so cool. It's just lovely. And although my camera isn't perhaps best positioned, I think you're getting a hint at some of the country that surrounds me. Now my head is moving around, just absorbing this gorgeous, stunning scenery. Now the beauty of all this is it's free, it's just there, it's nature. All we need to do is position ourselves to be where it is. So that reflection that I just shared, the silence I had through the night, and now on the bike, I can't look at Facebook, I can't read my phone, I can't read text messages, I can't read email, I can't talk to anyone. That is just beautiful, you know, absolutely stunning. And I'm escaping from the three wars of hearing, speaking, and I know it says the seeing, but for me, I'm just enjoying a view, not really seeing those things that distract me. And there is only one more left for me right now, and that is the battle for my own heart, which is what I'm really referring to in the dark night of the soul. Now, I know I'm using very spiritual style language, but there are many people, more people, who are secular and non-spiritual at all, and that's fine. I'm not here to sort of persuade you of one way or the other. However you see this, you know, some people see it as divine, some people just call it nature, some people call it spirituality, some people just say it's just my feelings and emotions, and that's all good. I'm not going to get in the way of any of that. So forgive me if I use that language, but it's just what I found helpful, and it works for me. And I know it works with others as well, but I don't want that to be a barrier. But I'm hurting right now. I'm really hurting, and it's not so much as to what's happened to me, as I alluded yesterday, it's how I'm responding. And sometimes we can't help how we respond. Maybe trauma in earlier life, maybe something that's we carried over, maybe there's been some sort of, you know, PTSD is talked about a lot with the military. I know the police suffer severely from it as well. But people in working lives can have some sort of post-traumatic stress, and that can be something that we just can't even refine. And often we hear about people at the end, which is why I wanted to play the Movember video, because I think that's really moving and kind of a wake-up call to all of us that there is a way through this. For some of us it is talking, and it's great to talk. For some of us it's just the silence. It really depends on your nature. There isn't a wrong or a right answer to this. What I can share is there's not a destination that you need to find, but there's a journey you need to go on for recovery, and there are stepping stones along the way. Some of those stepping stones might be a website, it might be a video, it might be a book, it might be a counsellor, it might be a friend, it might be a colleague. It can be any number of things, but sometimes it's different things. Personally, I find solitude in music. That's why I write I play music, and you see some of the videos on that. I don't post anywhere near as much as I play. I just occasionally post something simple. But riding the bike is another form of meditation. And right now, for whatever reason that I don't fully understand, I'm on the bike heading home and just feeling it's the right thing. There's just something intangible in the quality of this ride. I'm riding through some of the beautiful mid-Wales countryside, but for me it's early morning, it's cool, and I'm just having a little me time, as I kind of term it, and it really is very, very helpful. Now, let me get back to the story, not just the reflection. So I am on this journey home, and I have decided not to tell my wife yet. I don't want her worrying about what's going on. So what I've decided to do is get some pace up, enjoy the ride, and then I'm going to stop, get some fuel. I kind of have a target when I need fuel. I don't need it yet. I'm quite a way off needing it. Then ride a bit more. Then I'll get some breakfast somewhere. And when I get breakfast, it's then that I will call home. And it was actually as I was getting breakfast that another one of these strange coincidences happened that I'm going to talk a little bit about now. So I pulled over and I did the fill up, got back on the road, rode through some glorious country, and then I pulled over eventually and I had some breakfast. And I messaged my wife. I didn't know whether she was busy or what she was doing. My father-in-law is staying with us at the moment. He's just not long come out of hospital because he's not been well, so he's staying with us, and my wife's looking after him, and so all I thought was good. So when I was having my breakfast, I messaged my wife and she said, "Can I call you?" Now I thought, wrongly, and there's a lesson in this, another learning, I thought she was worried about me, so I called her and did the usual hellos. Then I started to explain everything was good, it was fine, had a bit of a late night, didn't sleep well, blah blah blah. You know what happened in the other video. I just explained all of that to her. Okay, good, she said. She asked a few questions. She was caring and concerned, and she said, "I just need to let you know I've needed to call an ambulance for my father." Now in that moment I realised, and here's the lesson, I need to not just enjoy the silence when I'm on my own. I need to offer more silence to other people to allow them to speak first. So when I called, the reason she needed to speak to me wasn't because of me. Okay, yeah, she would have cared otherwise, but it's because she wanted to tell me she'd had to call an ambulance. So I was a little bit shocked, and I said, "Oh, okay." She said, "I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to ruin your weekend, and I didn't want you to come home early because of it." So she was protecting me. I didn't want her to worry, so I didn't tell her I was coming home. So when I alluded in my last video that sometimes, for whatever reason, you can call it fate, you can call it spiritual guidance, it doesn't really matter. It's just sometimes coincidences, if that's your thing. We find ourselves just heading to be in the right place at the right time. And for me, I didn't realise I needed to be home, but I absolutely needed to be at home because of what was going on and everything that's going on. So I was just so grateful for the notion that whatever had caused me to be upset had just possessed me to make me think I need to be home. So anyway, after that enjoyable breakfast, I then hit the road again. Now my satellite navigation was actually set to avoid motorways, so I was following a beautiful country route, and most of it, this is before I've had breakfast, this video now, but all of it was up to the breakfast, just stunning. I then did the obvious thing. I changed from avoid motorways to include motorways. It shaved 35 minutes off my time home, and all I wanted to do at that stage was get home. And that's exactly what I did. Now the really strange part of this, and the final coincidence in this kind of chapter, this weekend to Wales, which is nothing like I expected, I would say everything that could go wrong went wrong, but that's not true. I think everything that could go right went right, but for very different reasons than I had in mind. But as I pulled up my drive, literally just went over the curb into the drive, I noticed an ambulance was there. I pulled up the bike, the diesel engine was running, and I wasn't sure what was going on. It looked like they were in the ambulance, and sure enough, at that moment the back door opened. My wife came over, she gave me a hug, explained that they were just about to leave. I had just got back in time, and I was able to look into the back of the ambulance, speak to my father-in-law. He wasn't really completely aware of what was going on, but he saw me. He remembered that I was going to Wales, which was lovely. He'd mentioned just before I left that his grandparents were from Wales. I didn't know this, so there is a family link with Wales. All his family are Cornish, but he had grandparents from Wales, one grandparent. And so when I got back, I told him how beautiful a country his grandparents had come from, and he nodded in acknowledgement. Made a bit of a joke about I was going to take him out on the bike, but I see he's a bit busy. He kind of laughed, but there was just, we're talking seconds here, this was not long, but just to get back to have that conversation. Now, as I speak and record this video, he is very frail, he's very confused, and he's very poorly. And we've been told to just expect the end soon. So there we are. That really concludes what was in many ways a very difficult weekend, but how I felt liberated from difficulties through deep rest. Now, my encouragement to you is to, if you're struggling, is to please try and talk to somebody. Now, most people you'll talk to will be useless. I'm including myself in that. But if you start the dialogue, you might find somebody who can surprise you. And it has often surprised me, not the people I expected, but the ones I didn't expect to be the most helpful. I'm fortunate, I'm surrounded by a lot of love. My wife, my family, there's a lot going on that I've got a lot to be grateful for. And I've got a lot of things still to learn. I don't plan on doing too many long distance trips in the near future, I'll be honest. More short distance trips. And I don't plan on going out with others for a while. Forgive me if I sound a bit sore, but I am a bit of a loner, I think, when it comes to things like this, and I'll probably just get a lot more enjoyment if I'm just on my own. I will go out with other people, and there are some I really like dearly, and but I'm going to be very selective, because what I don't want to do is get frustrated with other people and them get frustrated with me, because I'm just not very good at conflict. I'm too old for all that stuff. So onwards and upwards, as they say. Anyway, I hope you found something of use in this 3-part video series. A 3-part series that was a long time coming and has turned out to be nothing like I expected. For me, it was all going to be about a great ride, it was going to be about a great location, it was going to be about great places to visit. I was going to show some stunning shots. I love my photography. I was going to take a lot more video. Yeah, nothing's gone to plan. And I nearly didn't make a video at all, but somehow, I don't know, I've thrown this together, or these 3 parts, but I hope there's something in it for you. Watch this space. In due course, I might start to make and churn out my usual rubbishy, crappy videos, but for now, hopefully something a little different. Now I'm just gonna leave you with a few more beautiful scenes. I'll edit down the boring bits and try and just keep the interesting bits in. But I really appreciate you for joining me. Thank you for all those who comment, like, subscribe to the videos. You are an encouragement, truly a source of energy, of positivity. We know about the other types and they are there, but hey, maybe I just need to learn to embrace and understand that maybe some of those ones that do write not very nice comments have got their own struggles, and maybe we all need to be a little bit more understanding. So lots to learn, lots to see, but so much to be thankful for. Right, take care, ride safe, and I'll catch up with you soon. Bye for now.